So, welcome to Rolling with Story, the show where we talk about D&D, the different spheres of D&D, and today we're talking about one which, I'll be honest, completely terrifies me, which is the concept of live play D&D. Now, we have been networking out there on the social media webs, and we've come across Jeffrey Jordan, who is from You've Got to Be Critting Me, a really exciting show. You guys do YouTube content, you do Instagram content, and a lot of live plays. We wanted to get you on to talk about your experience with that and how you got into D&D and so on. So, Jeff, it's really nice to have you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, no problem. I've got my co-host Connor here with us as usual.
I'm always here, lurking.
He's always here,
in the shadows.
In the shadows, absolutely. Okay, so I think a really good place to start is chronologically in your D&D journey, which is what or who got you into D&D?
It was actually one of my best friends way back in the day as a teen. He had played Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 well before me. And that was kind of like my first dip into D&D. I created a character. We probably played one or two sessions. And then, I've always been kind of I will call myself a nerd, playing video games,
Couldn't tell with the background at all. Couldn't tell.
World
a
of
nerd?
Warcraft.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
World of Warcraft was really huge for me. Just the Warcraft franchise in general. I played a lot of Warcraft 3. And then the old school classics, Mario, Sonic, all of those. Didn't get too much into D&D after that until many years later. I think probably when 5e came out. Started in a group of close friends, and then they eventually wanted me to run a one-shot. And so I'd been kind of toying around with the idea, but the idea terrified me. Like, I never saw myself as like a kind of a storyteller, and then just, I don't know, I maybe had this idea of what DMing really was that just terrified me. But I went ahead and did it. It was mostly kind of like a homebrew type of one-shot. I created this city. They essentially had to escape the city. And the group seemed to really enjoy it. And from there, they asked me to kind of start a campaign going off of that one shot. And that was maybe 7 to 10 years ago. I don't know, somewhere around there. But from there, I've just kind of continued to DM. Not the same group.
Nice.
Because that's always a thing that I've discovered is groups, at least in my experience, have not lasted forever, and no one's ever gotten to 20th level. But then I settled, got married a year ago. Travis is actually my brother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
And, hadn't played Dungeons and Dragons in a while, and he's always wanted to play. He had never played before. And so we connected, and then just from there we found a group and started playing. And I don't think we had that we were going to make it a podcast until a couple sessions after. It really kind of evolved into Travis not liking to take notes by hand. So,
he literally was like, we need to start a podcast so I can watch it back and get
yes.
notes. Okay.
It's essentially what it was. He's like, I need to record these sessions because these are going to be my notes.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
And here we are today.
So, Travis literally got you to film your sessions so that he didn't have to take notes. I love that.
Pretty much. Our last session we released, episode 17, was our first video session. But yeah, he's just like.
How did you find that transition from audio to video? Because we've done the same thing. We used to do audio as well, and then to video. How are you finding that?
I mean, for me, the video's just on me. He does all the editing, so.
Yeah.
But he's kind of talked a little bit about it. The last session, I think he kind of took it kind of like a play test on the video, kind of work out some of the tweaks, what to improve on the next session. From my understanding, he found it a bit of a challenge in part of the editing parts. Sometimes the voice not matching up with our mouths.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's like latency, I guess, right?
But I mean, I can't speak too much on the editing part. It just sounds like it would hurt my brain. Just all that has to go in that, and the time that has to go into that.
Man, editing is sucks. I'm glad that I don't have to do that.
Connor's approach is he has an alter ego that he makes do the editing, so he doesn't have to do it, but he has like a Jekyll and Hyde personality.
Like Severance, seen the film Severance? Split themselves into two.
Okay.
That's Connor. Yeah, he doesn't like to say he's the editor. He likes to say.
When we went to video, me and Sam for like the first 2 weeks, we got really insecure of like the tics that you've got. You'd be like doing this, you're like, oh, why am I doing this every 5 seconds? Like, have you got any of that yet?
No, I think I'm just more self-conscious about just how I'm presenting myself, or how I look.
Interesting.
It was easy to actually forget that the camera was on me.
Nice.
Which I think is a good thing, because you kind of just can be more natural. Because we had been recording so long with headphones and mics in front of us that adding just a camera in front of us was not too big of a deal. But I have not noticed any tics yet. So we'll see.
Now you will. Now you'll watch it back.
Now
like, oh my god.
Yes. I've just been looking out for him now.
Yes. 100%.
No, it's not that bad. I think we were first because we were so on us. But I guess because you're DMing, you'll be so lost in the space of just creating that stuff. I guess just blends out into the background. Let's talk about that then. I guess like the live play of it, because I've DM'd a lot, and the thought of DMing in front of a live audience and like my skills, my kind of ad lib being on show in that split moment, I find pretty intense. So talk us through how you find that, and how do you deal with the stress of it?
Probably like everybody else, have a lot of anxiety beforehand and then just go into it. I think for me as a DM, I just try to remind myself that I'm ultimately just wanting to do this for fun, and just have a good time. Because if I can't do it for fun, then for me, then it becomes a job, and I guess maybe the fun part comes out of it. But just remembering that I'm here for not only the audience, but also really the players in front of me. So, I mean, to be honest, it's not too difficult to remind myself, okay, like, the audience is there, but they're not there. I mean, I guess if that makes sense. And I just kind of continue to just go with the flow. Travis did message me. I don't know if that means he's going to hop on.
If he does, he's more than welcome to
Jump
join
on
us.
in.
Okay. Sam, it's asked me to ask you to close your other tab.
I have closed it. Yeah, I've closed it.
It has now.
Yeah, it was telling me to close, so I've just.
Yeah, well, if he can join our disc, and the link's in there, and it will just join him, so it'll be fine.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know why we came up with the decision to do live play.
Because it's bold. It is bold. It scares me quite a lot. Doing the live play scares me a lot. But it looks fun. Like when I watch your show, particularly when I can see your faces, you can see everyone enjoying themselves, and you see people thinking and cogs whirring, and like that's really cool. It adds this additional aspect to D&D that, like, you know, Critical Role have made their whole brand based on that, and they've done it super successfully. Interestingly, like we've said a lot about this on our show, kind of, haven't we, on Rolling with Story, about the Matt Mercer effect, where everyone expects DMs to basically be Matt Mercer and expects players to be professional voice actors. Have you felt any like a pressure on yourself in relation to that? How's your experience with that?
Oh, 1000%. I got really into Critical Role Vox Machina campaign, and I mean they're just amazing voice actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And so, yeah, I mean the pressure is there. I'm just terrible at accents. I'll start an accent and mid-sentence it'll just go back into my normal voice.
100%.
Or I forget what the character sounds like in the next section.
Yeah.
They sound completely different.
Yeah.
Connor has
That's
a
a
good way
classic,
at this. Connor has a good one with this, where he goes, "Okay, guys, just to preface this, I'm going to be trying a couple of accents out," and he'll start in this Irish accent, and it'll wander into Scottish, and then it will become, for me and you, it tends to become this sort of like Captain Barbossa West Country pirate accent. It always goes to that. And it's that thing of just going, guys, look, I'm going to be trying them out. We'll see. We'll land on one, and then we'll get there. And I love the wandering accents. I think it's part of the fun, isn't it?
We had a meme in our first campaign. There was a character called Shiro, and literally every single scene that they came in, I would try and do an accent. Every scene, it was like a different accent.
Yeah.
Funny meme that this guy would just like
the chameleon.
What accent's it gonna be this time? And I'd be like, guys, please, I just tried to do something cool. And they'd be like, oh, what's it gonna be? Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, I think just kind of taking that leap and just trying something new. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you approach that in the? Yeah, I was gonna say. Now I'm thinking of that, like it being live as well. Like, do you feel still comfortable to have those kind of conversations with players, even though it's kind of live in the space? How do you find like those conversations that you kind of have with your table?
What do you mean? Clarify a little bit.
So like, the accent thing. Oh, I'll let Travis in first.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey.
Hello.
Sorry I'm
Hello,
late.
dude.
No excuse other than I just overslept.
No worries, dude. No worries.
You guys are giving us a terrible impression of Americans. It's a terrible impression. We're like, all these D&D Americans, they just wake up late all the time.
I can't speak for all of us, but that definitely is this American.
This American. Love that. Good to see you,
It's nice
dude.
to have you.
Yeah, thanks for coming along. Thanks for coming on. So we were just generally talking about live play experiences with that. And Connor, you had a kind of question about sort of discussion in the space,
discussion.
right?
So sometimes as a DM, I have to preface stuff in the campaign. So like the accents that we were talking about, and I go like, okay, guys, I'm gonna try to do an accent. Bear with me. Like, I feel like maybe if I was live, I'd try to act up a little bit for the audience, and then not feel as comfortable to go, hello everybody and everybody at home. I'm gonna do this thing. Like, I would feel a bit of the Matt Mercer effect and go, I should be doing this. Like, straight away, and I don't have time to preface that. I wonder if that comes up basically in your games.
I think I've gotten to the point where we're not Critical Role, we're not Dimension 20.
100%.
We are just a group from Oklahoma, USA, and we're just doing something that we love to do. And so, as long as I'm having fun, as long as my table's having fun, and the people that came, they came for a reason, that, of course we try to make it as fun as possible for everyone watching or listening, but just for me constantly reminding myself, like, just have fun, be yourself, and it is okay to just be honest and transparent, like, hey, we're not professional voice actors. I'm not a professional voice actor. My accent will probably switch to, good old Southern Okie accent.
Nice.
And I think that's probably what it is just be honest and transparent.
Yeah.
For me, like, it is what it is, but I still hope you guys enjoy it for what it is.
100%. And it's crazy, isn't it? Because I've met people when they start playing D&D where they do that. Oh, have you watched Critical Role? Like, how much like Critical Role is your campaign? And it's this kind of this meter stick used to measure all campaigns, which makes no sense, because if I'm in a band, no one goes, "Hey, how much like Led Zeppelin are you?" Do you know what I mean? No one does that. That makes no sense. That would be completely insane. But we do it with Critical Role, and big respect to them. They've like massively blown the hobby up into this something absolutely incredible. And would we be making D&D content if we hadn't at some point experienced Critical Role and the sphere that they've created? Who knows? But yeah, it is pressure, isn't it? It can be pressure. But I think I like what you said about going, we're having fun, we're honest about who we are, we're honest about what we're going to be making, and people like that authenticity. People vibe with that. I know I like that personally. So yeah, that's really, really good. That's really, really cool. So continuing what we were saying about sort of live play, what have you guys found most difficult? Now, Travis, we heard that you're the kind of mastermind editor. Jeff gave you some big props for that. What have you guys found most difficult in the live play?
For me personally, it's just finding the time to edit the show with a day job.
Yes.
So I edit the show as often as I can, which balancing between work and just spending time with my wife and our pets and stuff, I'm like, don't have a lot of time. And then promoting the show on top of that is another thing that when we started this, I didn't realize how much of that was going to be necessary, which I love doing it. It's just, it's a lot of extra work that I wasn't prepared for. So for me, it's probably that, just all of that, like doing the show, sitting down at the table, recording, that's fine. It's the extra things outside of that I find difficult.
The promo is when it works, it feels really satisfying. But there's also some serious hours you sink into social media trying to get your show out there for just no reward. Or like we had one, didn't we, Connor, where like last week we went down a follower and we were like, no, we lost somebody, no, and then
I think it was more than one.
But there you go. Don't tell me that. One was all I knew.
Pretty kind, man. Yeah, it was a couple. It was a bit.
It was a bit crazy, but it does take promo. These things do take hours of time. But what I'll say as well is, Jeff, we were talking about this earlier. Is you guys have been messaging people going, hey, do you want to check out our content? Which is how we got into contact, and here we are. You're on our show, which is super fun to have you guys here. So your promo's working, guys, so just keep it up. Yeah, it's working. It's
the short
working.
content, I know you said before,
Yes.
the short content is fire. Like,
Yeah.
we really, really did. We really like your short content. So,
I really appreciate the kind words, that's for sure.
No worries.
Because you never know, like, who it's going to reach and if they'll like it, and there's always going to be the haters out there. Which is another part, is like, man, do I really want to put myself out there for the haters to just,
I know.
Keyboard warrior themselves into our comments? But yeah, I really appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. Connor's much cooler with the haters than me. I get one comment that I even perceive to be a minor criticism. I snapped it, I screenshot it, sent it to the chat. Guys, is somebody making fun of me? Oh my god! And then Connor's like, dude, it's somebody on the internet. It's okay. It's cool. Like they can have their opinion, man. It's okay. But yeah, sometimes I just get a bit hot under the collar with it,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's tricky. It is tricky. Nice. Yeah, so like we're saying, your kind of shorts reel content is really, really cool. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of the one, Travis, you did about shout out to those your UK listeners. I was a massive fan of that. I was a massive fan of that. I loved it.
That's kind of a theme we're trying to do. I'm looking at our analytics, tracking our fans across the world, and the UK, I think, was our second largest following after
Nice.
America.
nice.
And most of our followers, there might be 2 or even just 1 in whatever other country, but I still want to give them a shout out. Be like, hey, thank you for listening.
Yes, 100%. That's really good. It's really, really good. When you guys are making that sort of short content, what is your idea generation process? Like, how are you coming up with that sort of stuff?
Jeff, if you have something, go ahead. Yeah.
So that's been a struggle for me personally. In the beginning, again with just the day jobs and
100%.
adulting,
Yeah.
finding the time to come up with ideas and then creating the reels. I've kind of gotten into the habit of setting aside some dedicated time to just sit down and brainstorm ideas. One sentence ideas of what a reel or video could be. Just spend time writing it down, anything and everything that comes to mind, and just having that creative freedom. And then, of course, the recording process has to happen. What is the reel? Because you got to keep it short. So how can you fit this idea into that short amount of time? And I'll pick an idea that I want to do for a video, and I'll kind of think about it all day, really. What is it going to look like? What is it going to sound like? And then eventually I just kind of start writing up a script of what it's going to be.
Nice.
And then it goes from there.
Nice.
It's a lot easier coming up with the series, so like NPC Fridays. Okay, now I have something.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know what to create. It doesn't have to be like super random. It's going to be an NPC of some sort. The DM quick tips, that was another one. When we first got into social media, we just saw a lot of people like, hey, I want to get into DMing, but I don't know how, or where do I go? And by no means do I consider myself a professional. I mean, every session, one of the party will be like, hey, like, what's this rule here? So I'm like, I don't know. Let me go up.
Yeah.
And that's part of that authenticity and genuineness. It's like, I don't know everything. I'm going to have to refer to the books just as much as you guys.
And no one can know all of the rules. And part of DMing is going, I don't like that rule. We've done that loads of times in our campaigns, going, that rule is going to stop us making this cool story in this direction, so we're going to scrap it. We had a player who was a real, he had not played proper D&D. What he'd done is literally just memorized every single rule in D&D and all of the multi-classing and all of this. So he knew all the mechanics of D&D but hadn't played it. So when he came to play with us, there were so many times he was like, let me just rules lawyer that. And we had to be like, no rules lawyer here, no. We will not do that here.
With a spray can.
Yeah.
Rules lawyer back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to have one at the table.
It
I
is.
think. I do love DMing. I do love having at least one, because then I don't have to go through the book. I can keep DMing, and they will flick and go, "Oh, this." And I can either go, "Yes, I will allow it," or "Nay,
no.
be gone with that rule. I don't want it."
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. On the NPC topic, you're talking about NPC Fridays. What is the best? I'm ask this to both of you, and Travis, I'm going to throw this at you first. Best NPC you've experienced, played with, and then Jeff, you can go for ones you played with, or one you've made, or one maybe you've made. Travis, I don't know if you've DM'd before.
I have not.
Okay.
But I think probably my favorite NPC in this campaign, there's and it might just be because we encounter him often. There's a field hand or dock hand. He works down at the docks taking care of boats.
I love him already. Instantly.
15-year-old kid named what is his name? Jeremiah. And there's nothing especially special about him. He's just like a super fan of the party. So when we come around, he's like, "Oh my gosh, guys, tell us about your adventure." And it's just
cute.
Yeah, it's just fun. And in post-production, I do a little pitch up of his voice to make him sound even younger.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't edit like that.
That's sick.
I don't edit like that. God, no.
Damn. That's cool, dude. That's super
That is
cool.
Now there's another one who we didn't encounter much, but I just love his name, and I think we got into it in the NBC Fridays. Jimothy. I don't know if that was something straight off your head, Jeff, but I was like, I love this guy.
Just the name alone is captured me completely.
I think I had heard the name 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, and I don't know where I heard it, but I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna come into the campaign. That is such just a funny name.
Yeah, that's sick.
No disrespect, but it's just like you don't expect that to, yeah, Jimothy.
It's solid.
I like that.
It's solid. Yeah, I love that. We've had some wild NPCs, haven't we, Connor? We've had some
done a
rogue
couple.
ones.
Done a couple. Well, the one that always comes back for us is the sewer.
Yeah,
pirate,
I was going to say,
right?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always the sewer pirate.
Pete the sewer pirate. He was
Pete the
just.
sewer
It
pirate.
was in this weird era of the campaign where we were in like it was a real like demonic infernal apocalypse sort of vibe.
It was like a Gestapo going around.
Yeah, it was. There was like secret police, and like we were all being hunted. It was really quite dark and like depressing for a couple of months of campaign, and then literally out of nowhere, this Pete the sewer pirate turned up with a proper, like we were saying, the Barbosa West Country accent came up, and he had a cutlass, and he didn't have a ship because he was in the sewers, but he had a crew and so on, and it was, we all just completely were obsessed with him. And like Connor would throw more important NPCs into the situation, and none of us would bite. We just want to talk to Pete. So Pete, how did you become a sewer pirate? Where did you get that cutlass from? Where did you get your tricorn hat? And like we were just obsessed with him for like 2 episodes. Yeah, it was
Just trying to comic relief you guys.
Yeah, the comic
just
relief.
Trying to give some comic relief.
Yeah, the comic relief has to happen sometimes for sure.
What about you then, Jeff? What was your
Yeah.
what's your favourite NPC you've ever created, and what went down the best?
This was a couple groups ago. I created an NPC. He was like a mayor type of some small town or village.
Nice.
Halfling, dressed really well, but one of his tics was he was always like picking at something on his clothing. Like if it was like a little piece of lint, he would just pick at it. It got to the point where he would just kind of space out if the party's talking to him, and then you just kind of would see him reach toward one of the characters, pick off a piece of lint off of their clothing.
That's awesome.
And I mean that was fun to mess around with the players. And then after that, he'd kind of just toss it aside and come back to reality. He's like, oh, like, what were you guys talking about? What did you say? And they would face palm.
Incredible.
So the background
I had
check
fun
that
with
guy
that
is
one.
so fast.
Yeah.
Or the back, I've been like, who is this guy?
Who is he?
Who is this guy? What's his obsession with lint?
Yeah.
He's like a lint smuggler or something. I would have been so into him straight away.
Absolutely, man. Love that. Yeah, NPCs.
Take
are
two
good fun.
pause just for 2 seconds,
Yeah.
Travis. Have you got multiple things of Riverside open? It sent me an alert saying that you might have multiple tabs of Riverside.
Oh, you know what? I think I might have one from an interview we did a few days ago still open.
Okay.
I do. Here, let me
Okay.
close that.
No problem at all. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You're doing other interviews, guys? Oh my god, we're not the only ones. What? Oh my god. How could this be?
We got you already. I'm sorry. You caught us.
Oh my god, we've only just got to know each other. It's happened already.
Love it.
Amazing. So, sorry. To
Absolutely love that. Yeah, brilliant. Love it. So, when you were saying you guys play, how often did you guys play? Did you say 4 to 6 weeks, Jeff? Was that something you said?
Yeah,
Yeah?
just about.
Nice. So when you are developing like the storyline and sort of maintaining that, how do you guys maintain pace with a 4 to 6 week break? How do you do that?
I don't know if that is a big priority on my list when it comes to DMing. Since this group has 3 like brand new players that have never played D&D before,
Okay.
I started out with a module that I felt fit really well into my world and
Nice.
campaign to kind of give like some direction into the story, because I'm very much like I'm more sandboxy of a DM. Like, what do you guys want to do? And then, I mean, as you guys know, like, you kind of create an idea of what the party might do or what the session might look like. But then they'll just go the completely opposite.
100% every single time.
But I leave that open to them because I don't want them to feel like I am railroading them into a certain direction, because then I'm just kind of telling my own story instead of allowing all of us to create the story together. So if I say, yeah, there's a lot going on down south, but they're like, I don't care, we're going to go north. I just come up with it on the fly, and allow it to happen. Pacing, I kind of leave it up to the group and how they want to pace the campaign. So if they want to go slow and just hang out in town and shop and talk, then by all means do that. If they want to go more quick-paced and get to the thing and do the thing and combat or whatever that might be for them, I try to leave as much agency to the players as possible. That's just kind of my DM style.
Nice.
I'll add, since I'm the one editing the show, the show is always fresh in my mind. I'm like, I know exactly what we did last session, even though it may have been 4 to 6 weeks. So I will often, in the group chat, be like, hey, remember at the end of last session we were doing this, so just keep that in mind as we jump into the next one. I have a little edge on the other players that way, just since I'm editing, it's always fresh in my mind.
Yeah, we heard about this actually, Trace. We heard that you editing so that you didn't have to take notes. Is there any truth to this?
this bold claim.
This hearsay that we've heard upon the winds of time.
I don't know if that's the reason why, but it definitely works out. Because
Yes.
I am a terrible note taker. Just in general. In school,
Amen.
I was the worst at it. If I could have set up a camera in my classroom and gone back and watched, I would have got much better grades, I think. So yeah, it works out for me because I think in the moment when I'm playing, I'm just too invested in the story to think about taking notes.
100%.
So when I go back and edit, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we were doing. And there was a moment actually, I think in the episode that's going to come out tomorrow, where we began the session with basically there was something that happened at the end of the previous session that we got completely wrong once we got back, and so I had to come in and be like, okay, we actually didn't do that, we did this, but it's not that big of a deal, we'll roll with it. So I find some continuity errors a little bit once I'm editing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, playing live the continuity must be so... Okay, here's something, because I genuinely go, Beevil Bob from Town Blobkin, and then have not written that down in any way, shape or form, and then they go, oh, that town two episodes back, where was that? And I go, something else completely different, and then like, oh, I guess we just have to roll with that, right? Genuinely happens way more than I would want it to, so that must be quite tough.
Yeah, the podcast is super helpful to go back and listen to, like, okay, that was that town's name, that was that NPC's name, that's kind of how that NPC sounded, but there are just times where, like, I'll forget, what was that town's name? I don't remember. It was a town, and I'll get back with you once I find out exactly what it was.
Yeah, because you see Matt Mercer, not to compare once again to Crit Roll, and he's like, okay, wait a second. Flicks through his massive binder. I just ain't got time for that. I just can't do that. I'm like, that's the pace of my story is out the window.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make it up on the spot and we'll just keep going because I
Absolutely.
don't want to turn to the side. It's really interesting about chatting about kind of like the pacing of your campaign, because I think me and Sam come very different like styles. So we're like all pace. Well, I am definitely, and I think Sam, you're very. We have similar veins in practice, where we're like pace. We're really quite high octane.
We're from the theatre kid, musical kid backgrounds, so we're all like entertain. That's like the whole gimmick. but which can be taxing at times, Connor, can't it? Sometimes,
For sure.
Yeah, it can be really, really
Yeah.
taxing.
Got to learn how to do the pace of like, because we have such massive high. Because this is something interesting as well. Like we play epic fantasy, so we play like really quite high power scale. Like we go to level 20s pretty often. Like, so do you play more kind of down to earth, more lower well, I guess you can't be low fantasy in D&D, but more like kind of town level, more like exploring, sandboxing around. Here's the question, I guess. What's your campaign now about at the moment? What's the story you guys are telling? That'd be really interesting to me.
Good question.
Yeah. It's definitely a high fantasy, high magic world. But since our group contains so many very brand new players, I wanted them to experience D&D from the very beginning, what a level 1 felt like, and then just kind of moving on up. So we started in a very small town and village, and there was a lot of crazy stuff going on, but to get them kind of familiar of what it all felt like. So our story involves many years ago there was a huge war between the chromatic and metallic dragons that kind of left this part of the land kind of splintered and separated. What many don't know is there's something even bigger that was going on kind of behind the scenes of that. And this campaign is kind of explore a lot of that. And so this first kind of arc of our session is just these dark, void-like beings or creatures have started popping up around the land, and they were sent to investigate one of these like portals that had opened up and was causing some kidnappings.
Kidnappings?
Yeah.
No.
I don't like that.
And yeah, so they kind of found out where the portal was, kind of solved the mystery of this particular arc, but there's something a lot more sinister and bigger on a grand scale of things that's going on. And so that's kind of where I'm hoping our higher levels of characters will eventually get to.
You know,
Nice.
It's funny. Some of that I didn't know. So it's
There you go. And it's recorded, Travis. You don't have to write it down, mate. So it's sorted.
Yeah, I had to be really careful because I knew Travis was in here, so I was like, okay, I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to give it too much away.
Definitely. for
Sweet.
sure. Amazing. Oh god.
But I mean, if you listen back to some of the sessions, there's some hints there that speak
Nice.
to
The
that.
breadcrumbs. The
Yeah.
old Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's really exciting. Okay. Sam, what are we saying on time? We're at 5?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're at 5. So I think I'll do a closing sharp question to everybody. If you could tell a newbie one thing about D&D that would make them catch the bug, what would you tell them?
You have an answer, Travis?
I think I would tell them to throw away everything that you think you know about D&D and just go into it with an open mind.
Nice.
A lot of people are, they're like, oh, I don't want to play a character. I'm not like an actor. I'm like that's what I did with my first character. I'm basically playing myself. I wanted to make it as easy as I could since this is my first time playing D&D. I just want to say, what would I do in this fantastical scenario?
Nice.
So just starting out, that would be my advice from a new player to another new player. Just be as close to you as you can and say, what would I do in this situation? I think that's what I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Good advice.
I would definitely mirror that.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Jeff, what about you?
I would say if you're looking for something that is fun and just will promote better well-being, better mental health, definitely check out Dungeons and Dragons. It is a medium to escape in a healthy way.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, like Travis, you can be yourself. You can play, you know, somebody you would wish to be. You can create whatever personality you'd like, and just play it out. Have a good time with family and friends, and explore, you know, certain things that, you know, you may not do otherwise.
Yeah.
So, that will probably be my kind of weird answer.
Nice.
No, I like
Nice.
that.
Great advice on both fronts, I think. And I think there we'll round off our episode. Gents, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. It's been super fun to meet you guys, you know, for real. And yeah, let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface,
Yeah,
really, of
there's
everything.
more.
So we definitely
There's
love
more.
to meet up again and do another one. That'd be great. And where can we find you guys? Your socials,
Yeah.
please shout out your socials. Where can people find you? Where can they follow your story?
Yeah, we're on all the socials: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and it's all "You've Got to Be Critting Me."
Nice.
And we'll link in the video
Yeah.
below as well, so you can find it nice and easy. And yeah, okay, amazing.
Sweet.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
It's been an
Great.
honor. Thank you so much, guys, for having us.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.